Testing, testing, read all about it. I just put both of those together. I don't even know if that goes together. What's good, everybody? It's me, Brian B. And we back at it. Another week, another day, another dollar. You know what I'm saying? We have to go and continue to go until there is no more room to go anymore. I'm literally just talking. It doesn't even make sense to what I'm saying. But what's good, Beeline? We back at it. It's another Tuesday night, and we talking with strangers again. We had a decent amount of these talking with strangers segments, and you want to know something? I definitely have to say it's been exactly what I wanted it to be. I have so many different stories. I've met so many interesting people with so many different things that's happened in life, different perspectives. It's been really, really, really great since I started this segment. I didn't really think I'm still waiting for a couple of really controversial ones that's going to make everybody sit on eating their popcorn while they watching it. I want to hear about some wives cheating on the husbands. That's just me and my recklessness, though. But hey, it's your boy Brian B. We got a Talking with Strangers segment, and you know what time it is. I know what time it is. Let's go. That's right. That's your boy. One. Just
COVID mania.
It's your boy Ryan B. And this is what you call.
Hey, guys, thanks again. Once again, as always, I have to start off by saying thank you. The support has been amazing. We got Jay Flash. You see my son, he's got his TikTok going now. He's actually doing everything with the gaming community. He's going to be a lot more of the entertainment shows as well, trying to get his name out there. He's going to be all over the place, man. He's loving it. I hope you guys are enjoying him on the videos. But if you haven't already, I don't understand how, because I'm loud. Everybody hears me. Like, share, subscribe. Make sure you leave your comments. Tell me what you think. We talking with strangers. You could talk to us too and let us know about the stories you hear. But we got a guest today, on the screen, and she's very influential in the film industry. It's not the entertainment. Look at check my shirt. It's not the entertainment show, but we talking movies and stuff. Yeah, we talking movies and stuff, but she had a very interesting story, very interesting person, and we're going to get to know her. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Miss Jackey Jones. What's up, Miss Jackey? How you doing?
I'm doing good, thanks. Yeah.
Nice to meet you. We're going to get to know you on this episode. Go ahead and introduce yourself and where you're from, and we can get started.
Yeah, I'm Jackey Naaman Jones, and I'm living in Western Oregon for the last 20 years in a really tiny rural town of 1,000 people.
Man, that's got to be so interesting. Sometimes, since I come from such like a big place, like Elizabeth, New Jersey, period, like where it's right next to New York, Jersey City, like, all that. So much, condensed people. Like everybody's in one area. Everybody's in bad moods. Nobody wants to be in a rush. How is it living with like a nice, small, tight-knit community?
Oh, it's great. I mean, when I moved here, my dad had moved here. My sister had moved here because my brother-in-law was looking for a job in the vicinity of Salem, Oregon, and they found this old logging town, and then I came up to visit and fell in love with it. So I moved my family up here. I raised 2 boys, and at the time my brother-in-law was the mayor. My sister was the librarian at the high school, and you gotta know we only have 200 kids in the whole kindergarten through 12, and then I joined the school board and I founded the Arts Council, and so between us, we created a forum. We legally weren't supposed to like get together without witnesses. So family dinners, we called all the children our witnesses.
Wow. That's crazy. It's like you guys like have the whole town. Everybody do something. You do his. You guys all know each other. That's
Yeah,
awesome, though.
it's it's like I moved from Northern California and I lived in
Oh,
a very affluent area near Sonoma, California, with all the wineries. And so
got it.
people, when I came here, they'd say, "Well, where did you live?" I said, "Sonoma," and they're like, "Oh, Sonoma." And they go,
Mm.
"Where did you move?" I go, "Falls City, Oregon." They go, "Ooh, Falls."
Stepping down.
And I mean, because it just has this terrible reputation and history,
Really?
and it's, when it has problems like anywhere, but I don't know. I know everybody. I feel safe here. It's like a lot more people know my name than I know theirs, and
Yeah, yeah. That's
you
got to be
know,
interesting.
people got your back. It's a good thing.
And that's what I mean, that's like the definition of like community and stuff like that. It's hard to have community in these really, densely populated areas where it's like there's
Mhm.
so many people, man. You don't even know who's who. Half the people from Georgia, and I'm in Georgia. I came from New Jersey, so I'm just like invading their territory. But it's so many people from different areas. You don't even know who's anybody anymore. Like, so I can respect a small, tight-knit community that's working together to keep it safe, keep it like taken care of. Yeah, it always
Yeah.
seems like something interesting. Something was weird. I'm not going to talk too long, but uh, I've been seeing these videos. Maybe it's just me getting older. I don't know if it's like a private memory I'm having in my head or something. But I see these videos with these people who are remodeling these vans or these conversion vans, and they're putting
Mhm.
beds in them, and they're putting showers, and they're taking them and they're just driving. They're not paying rent no more. They're not doing it. Yo, that shit seems so freeing to me. Like
Yeah.
every time I see it, I instantly like, man, I want to do this. So buy a bus
Yeah.
and just take my family and just travel. I'll sleep in a bus. I'm
Yeah.
paranoid though.
Well, I when I moved here, I bought a 100-year-old house to raise my kids in like 2 acres. And then a few years later, I had the opportunity to buy 3/4 an acre attached to it at the back of the property. But just recently, I mean, it was a big house, like 4-bedroom house. And so I sold it to my oldest son and his family with 3 kids. And now my younger son and his wife and their baby are living there, at least temporarily. So there's 4 adults and 4 kids. It's just chaos in there. I sold them
Yeah.
my house, and I bought an RV, and I'm living on that back lot. And I love
Ah,
tiny living. I don't know if I'm going to be driving it around, but I attend conventions as a guest
yeah.
a lot, and I'm thinking, well, maybe that's the way to go.
Listen,
Instead of
hey,
flying somewhere, why not take a couple-day drive and
yeah. And just like,
take
especially if
my
you don't really,
I can take my cat with me.
yeah, yeah, yeah. If you don't got to really any kind of commitments like that, like, we just recently, everybody in my house, we're home. The kids go back to school and stuff now, but with the COVID thing, we work from home now. We got everything like situated to where if we wanted to, we don't have to be, established anymore. We can make a move. And it's something that I never thought about before until I started getting older and I see it and I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
I'm so attracted to it. I'm like, damn, this must be like something that I would want to do. Um,
Yeah.
it just
No,
seems
I'm really
free, man.
happy to get rid of stuff. I mean,
Yeah,
it's like every time I get rid of more stuff, I just feel freer. And
yeah.
there's a beautiful old doctor's clinic here in this town, and it was taken over management by a local nonprofit that's about building community. And I was granted one of the rooms. It's 110, 15-year-old craftsman style house. It's beautiful. I
Oh
mean, you can
wow.
see some of the wood. That's the closet door behind me. But yeah, I got this beautiful studio space. It's just crammed, packed, and I have at least 7 projects going at the same time. So I got my house and I got my studio.
Mm.
And they're only like 3 blocks from each other. So I and there's a waterfall here. It's called Fall City because we got a
Oh
30-foot
wow.
waterfall that's in between my where I live and the studio. So I can go to the river every day.
Yeah, that sounds like chill mode central. But you said you got a whole bunch of projects, and that's what else I wanted to. So we want to get to know you on this episode. So Miss Jackey, very interesting. Like, you kind of just like already just kind of stirred my mind in different directions. That's one of the reasons why I love doing this, because you're talking to different people and just kind of things I've never talked to anybody from Oregon before. Like, so you got a really interesting story that we were just discussing a minute ago about your family and your history in the film industry. So if you don't mind, if you want to go ahead and just share like a little bit more about that information and just tell the viewers exactly like what your history is.
Yeah, so I'm best known through Mystery Science Theater 3000 and those fans. It's a pretty good fan base, and
Mm-hmm.
they're very fervent and fun. I mean, these are really intelligent, nerdy people. I mean, they're my tribe. I love these
Yeah,
people.
yeah, yeah, for
And
real.
so I was in a movie when I was 6 years old in 1966, and it was because my dad was part of community theater and the art community in El Paso, Texas, where I grew up on the border of Mexico. And so one of the other guys in the community theater had written a script, and he decided that anybody can make a movie, right? So he got his friends together, and he hired. Nobody got paid. Well, I got paid. I got a red bicycle, and my dog got a 50-pound bag of dog food. And that
Oh
was it.
man,
But
that's it right there for a kid. That's
but
that's
beyond,
$1 million.
but beyond that, so yeah, my dad starred in the film, but he was also an artist. So he created all the props and the sets, and he worked in lots of mediums. So he did a painting, he did some welding, sculptures, clay. Anyway, the film was called Manos, the Hands of Fate, and it was made in 1966, and it was so bad that there was a big premiere on November 15th, 1966, and it was so bad that the cast and crew were, well, in essence, we were trapped in the theater until it was over, you know, and uh,
Wow.
and so we got out as quickly as possible, and it was like pulling off a big heist. Everybody just kind of separated and never talked about it again. But for me, as a 6-year-old kid, it was just the best summer of my life hanging out with my dad
I can
in the
imagine.
desert,
Wow. Yeah.
like at night and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
And um, and so I held on to those memories. And 27 years went by, and I looked for it after I got out of high school in the 70s. This is pre-internet, so on the
Yeah.
phone. And I couldn't get a hit on it at all. And then in 1993, my dad, who was a Mystery Science Theater fan, was just kind of dozing off watching Mystery Science Theater one weekend afternoon on Comedy Central. And he heard some familiar music, and he opened his eyes and saw himself. And he called me. He said, "You'll never believe what I just saw on television." So I called the Comedy Central number, and I got this guy on the phone and told him who I was, what I was looking for. And there was this long pause, and he goes, "Oh my God, are you Debbie?" Which was my character in the film. And I was like, I didn't know anybody in the world had heard of it for all that time. And there it was. And it became an instant hit on Mystery Science Theater. And it won their annual Turkey Day Awards a couple of times for the best worst movie.
Mm.
And then it became famous for a long time as the worst movie ever made. But now it's probably, I think, number 3 in the top 5, something like
That's
that.
crazy, man.
But yeah, it's been taught in film school as everything not to do in filmmaking, editing, synchronicity. It was shot on a Filmo 70, a Korean war camera that shot silent, and
Oh
only
wow.
like, what was it, like 34 seconds at a time? It's a wound up camera.
Wow.
And so it was shot silent, and so all the voices were dubbed, for instance. And one woman dubbed all the female voices. So there was 8 women and one 6-year-old child. And nobody told me. And I found out in the theater that night when my mouth opened on the screen and this middle-aged woman's voice came out. It was
That'd be awkward.
and then I could hear the whole audience laughing. So that's where it started. And since then, though, it's crazy. It just keeps going and going and going. Cassandra Peterson, Elvira, she did it on her show once.
Oh, really?
And she riffed it. And I got to meet her because we were both guests at the same convention in Seattle a few years ago. And when I met her, it was just amazing. She was just as excited to meet me as I was her. She really knew the film. She had a lot of good questions for me.
All right. So Jack, I want to kind of like cut in a little bit or whatever. So just to kind of like touch bases on everything you're talking about. So first off, like, Mystery Science Theater, when I was a kid, that came on at night. Like, I remember waking up in the middle of the night a lot of times, and I don't know if it was like the weekends, but they would play that, and that's for anybody who doesn't know, that's the show that they play the old movies, and you'd have like, you'd see like the screen, and the guy would be sitting in the chair, and it would be like the robot, and
his two robot pals.
yeah, and you'd see them sitting, and their shadow was sitting on the thing, and they're watching the movie. And were they commentating on the movie as it was going on? I can't remember.
Yeah, they riff it. And that's the thing that made them so popular, is that we all do that with our friends when we watch a movie. Even if it's a good film, we're riffing it,
critiquing it. Yeah. I'm critics. I mean, it's just like, people do it all. People have so much of a broader horizon to do it now, because as soon as a movie can't even come out before people are critiquing it now. Like, you get on Facebook or Instagram or anything like that, and you literally just see comments after comments on the trailer. Oh, this looks like crap. Oh, this sucks. You see it. It isn't out for two more months. But
yeah, it's a cruel world.
Yeah, people will be ready to hate something. So that's what I'm saying. So that's what Mystery Science Theater was. And I remember I used to watch it, black and white films and certain things, whatever. And I never really understood it when I was a kid until I, understood it when I was older. And I saw, I'm like, oh, that's what that was. So, yeah, they used to sit there and, critique the movies and stuff like that. So
their jokes are amazing. I mean, it's cultural references, and they're just all over the place. And, and you hear the fans at conventions always quoting their most famous lines, like "watch out for snakes," or
Are they still on?
Yes, yeah. They just a couple years ago they recreated it with a new host with Jonah Ray.
I did hear that. I did hear that actually.
They raised like over $3 million on Kickstarter to pull this off. I mean, that's how big fan base is.
Yeah. People like that classic old school stuff.
Yeah.
Like they like that nostalgia. They like the what is it called? Vintage or whatever you want to call it. Like, people like those throwbacks. And me too. I love like the old school feel, especially when you're seeing something that's from your childhood or something like that. Just brings back the memories and the feelings and stuff. Also, I think a lot of people now like a lot of things back in the day because of the simplicity. Things are so complicated now, man. It's like we were just talking about movie trailers and stuff. Like, remember what you had to do to wait to see, like, a movie trailer back in the day? You had to wait for the Super Bowl, or you had to wait for something like important.
Yeah.
Or you watched the Lost World, the Jurassic Park, or the Jurassic Park trailer. Like, you saw that just on TV. That wasn't anywhere else. There was no computers or anything like that. So what made the movie so bad? What was like?
Well, I mean, the timing, the synchronicity, the editing, the lighting. I mean, they had to use like the headlights off the cars. They drove out there to the side, or ushers' flashlights from the theater. It was ridiculous,
So was the story good?
Well, the basic storyline. I mean, the premise of it. Family goes driving. They're on vacation, and they take a wrong turn, and they end up at this place called the Valley Lodge. And there's this kind of satyr-looking guy who comes out with this staff, and he's kind of creepy. But they're like, "Can we stay the night?" Which is stupid. What father would ask his family to go into? Hey, can we stay the night? Oh, come on. I mean, and the guy even says, the master would not approve. And he's like, oh, come on.
Come on.
Listen,
Kill me, whatever.
Yeah, so then it turns out that Torgo's protecting his boss, the master, who's, ambiguously like a eternal being or he's a polygamist for sure because he's got 6 wives.
Wow. Okay.
And they're generally, if they're not in a zombie state, then they're having a women's wrestling match in the sand, which is supposed to like excite the male side of the 1960s
Yeah, the
crowd.
audience. Yeah.
And it starts with like a 6-minute driving scene that like if you can make it through the driving scene, you might make it through the film. But the
gotcha,
credits
okay.
were supposed to go in the front, and that didn't happen. And I mean, it's just, and it was shot on Korean War camera called Filmo 70. I think they believe they used it in Vietnam as well, but it shot silent and it only shot like 36 seconds at a time. It's a wind-up camera. So you can imagine you can't get a shot more than, just over half a minute.
Wow.
And so, yeah, there was a lot wrong with it. A lot wrong with it.
Hey, listen, hey,
And
Jackey, the movie sounds awesome, though.
Yeah.
I want to watch it right now.
On the Mystery Science Theater fan pages, like on Facebook, I often see questions like, "Hey, I'm going on this date. It's we're having first date. Which Mystery Science Theater would you recommend to show this person?" And inevitably, there's a number of comments saying, "Not Manos, the Hands of Fate. Don't."
I want to watch this shit so bad now.
No, they're like, if you want to see this person again, I would suggest not doing that.
Got it. It was the butt of the joke. I got it.
Yeah, and then also because it's so old, when it was found, it was like a copy of a copy. Who knows how many copies through? And so it's kind of like watching it through a dirty screen door. But then in 2016, this young man who was restoring old films happened upon the original work print that went through the camera in 1966, and he recognized what he had. So he did a Kickstarter and raised $46,000 to restore it frame by frame in a Hollywood style.
I got to do a Kickstarter.
Then I got to go, I was invited, I got to go to the Chicago Music Box Theater for the premiere of that. I mean, I've had the opportunity to be part of a lot of really talented projects. So the restoration of Manos, the restored version is not riffed, but it's weird because it's cleaned up. And so it's like a really beautiful version of a really bad movie. So you can see all the mistakes so much clearer. Like
yeah. I thought you were going to build it up really well. I'm like, oh yeah, right back down. That's awesome. Yeah.
But since then, it's like, I'm telling you that every time it goes up and then it kind of flattens out, and every time it flattens out, I'm happy. I'm like, I found it. So I've been happy all along.
Yeah.
But then it just keeps rising and it's getting more and bigger and bigger. And now I've talked to people, they're doing family events with it. There are a lot of people cosplay it at events. There's a puppet theater in Seattle called Manos Hands of Felt. There's 4 stage productions. There's a band, there's trading cards. I wrote a book about it, and I have to say my book is 4.5 stars on Amazon. Yes, so I'm very proud to have written a very good book about a really bad movie.
That's awesome though. But how has it been, being a part of this? And what did you try to do any kind of acting like as you were getting older? Were you still into it, or was this experience was like you said, you liked it because you spent time with your dad, got a bike, you know what I'm saying? Like, what was it? Anything else that you were further trying to do with acting?
Yeah, because my dad was in community theater, and coincidentally, that same year that he starred in Manos, the Hands of Fate, he played the part of Henry IV in the play Henry IV, and he won Best Actor of the Year award. I mean, he won Best Actor. He always played the lead roles. He was Don Quixote and Man of La Mancha and King Arthur and Camelot, R.P. McMurphy and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I mean, he did a lot of theater. And so I grew up literally in the theater. I was there every chance I got, even if I couldn't be on stage.
Yeah.
But I did a lot of acting classes, and I did it through high school. And then I just, I got into other things for many years. And then Monos became famous, and it started creating, I just started meeting such talented and interesting people. And
Yeah.
every time somebody did a project, uh, I'd introduce myself and they would find me. And so I've been fortunate to be involved in one way or another with most
I
of
mean, that's awesome. I'm
and
pretty sure like,
I was interviewed by Playboy magazine in
oh, really?
2015, a 7-page article, and it's even on the cover. So can you imagine the day my junior high school son came home from school from this tiny school district, and I'm on the school board, and I hold up a copy of Playboy magazine. I go, guess what, honey, your mom's in Playboy this month.
Wow, yeah, that must have been an interesting conversation.
Oh,
But she was like, no, I don't want to see none of that.
I thought he was gonna faint, because everybody in town knows me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been Entertainment Weekly. I've just had some amazing opportunities and met amazing people going to events. But I filmed a sequel to it in 2018, and my dad was still living, so he was in it. And I found the woman who played my mother in the original, and we flew her out from Colorado to play my mother again 50 years later. We carried the story on, like what would happen if this little girl had grown up in this polygamous cult, of crazy people in the desert. And so we did our film, and then right now, we recently filmed about 6 months ago or so, we filmed a pilot episode for what is to be a new web series called The Monos Chronicles, and I star in that. And that's another universe. It's like there's so many stories out there that people have taken this flimsy storyline and imagined other universes.
Yeah, that's because people are creative, man. Like I was saying, it literally, like, you started off by like, this is one of the worst movies ever made, this and that and everything like that. But it comes now to show you, like, you never know what's going to be good. Like, you never know what's going to stick. You never know. Like, I know so many people, like, even doing this podcast stuff or whatever, like, people like do a show and they're critiquing it so hard. And like, oh, I don't want to do this, or a song that they make, I don't want to do that. And they don't try. They don't put it out there. They don't take risks. Oh, it's so bad. I hate it. I'm never going to do anything again. Something went out, and look how many people it caught. How many years later? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you have to not be scared to do stuff, man. Your dad did all that stuff, put all that stuff together, and then in history is history now. Like, you just got me. I'm listening to it, and I'm like, when as soon as we get off the thing, I'm going to watch this movie right now. Like, it's like this is like the greatest movie of all time now. Like, it
in some ways.
Yeah, it just shows you that you can go from really bad and be incredible, because you're going to get respect for it, because what's that award that you win in the movies, what's it called, not the Oscars,
the raspberries,
raspberries, yeah, I think something like that.
It?
Yeah, and you get that. Well, I'm saying, like, people are going to watch, they want to see something bad. My parents told me about a movie, because my father, we always used to clown my father, because he always used to pick, we hate it. My father's picking the movie, we're like, oh no, we don't want to watch it, we just go home. But he told me about this movie called Dead End Drive-In, and it was back in the 70s, I think. And I think he was saying basically, like, when they heard it, they thought it was gonna be like some horror movie, and it was like, people are gonna die, what are gonna get killed, whatever. But apparently it was just like a stupid movie about a drive-in or something like that. It was really dumb. And it was so off, like, topic of what they thought the title was. And it was, I remember listening to that. Was one of the first times I heard like a really bad movie when I was young. And I remember, even then I was like, damn, I kind of want to see it. I want to see why it was so bad. I want to see what's so bad about it. It's crazy, like, the things that catch on, man.
Yeah, and it's that's Mystery Science Theater, and they only do films that are in public domain. But one of the things that the fans really love about Manos, and it comes up a lot, and it took me years to understand. People ask me, well, why is it so popular? I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm understanding it more now. And it's that it's something relatable to people, in that as bad as it was, he got it done. He got it done, and he got it into the theater,
Yes.
to a big premiere. I'll tell you, everybody at that premiere, the women, this is 1966. My mom and I were in the beauty parlor all day. We had our hair, fancy dresses, the women, opera gloves, tuxedos, lights scanning the sky. Oh, Hal Warren, the director, because of budget, he rented one limousine, and he had the cast and crew drive their own cars and wait in the alleyway behind the theater.
Yeah, for real.
Then he picked up a few people, dropped them off, went around the block and dropped off some more. Even as a 6-year-old, I remember thinking, am I the only one that notices it's the same car and driver? You know? But he pulled it off, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
And people respect that.
No, for sure. I tell the story all the time. I mean, I only got one thing to my credit. I was actually on a movie, independent film, on Amazon Prime, a couple of 2 years ago now. But yeah, a guy that I had on the show kind of gave me a recommendation, and he had my show and me on a movie. The first time ever acting in anything. And I was there to, do the role, and I saw how the first time, like, behind the scenes of how a movie's made. And when I went to the premiere, when we were all watching it and stuff like that, there was a couple of celebrity people who actually came, who used to, and I didn't even know these people were going to be there. But one of the guys who was there, he gave like a speech at the end. He was like, listen, he was like, you have to always respect people's creativity, always respect people's drive. And like, he was basically saying the same thing you just said. Like, he got it done. Like, he got this done. The people, I saw how hard it was to work with people, how hard it was, like, even with us, like, we had to reschedule because things come up, things happen. Like, it literally just shows, like, you have to respect the drive of a person, no matter what their creation is. Respect the passion and the and that they did it. Like you said, he made that movie, and your dad did all of that work and got it into the theaters, had everybody dressed up to watch his shit that he did. That's incredible. It's definitely a learning experience. I'm pretty sure you seeing that, like, gave you a whole different kind of drive to sit here and, like, do your passions. Because you said you do art and stuff like that as well, right?
Yeah, I've been a self-employed artist my whole life.
That's awesome.
I'm just retiring. Well, I'm trying to retire from a 30-year career doing high-end faux finish. So I was doing murals and wall treatments and marbling, and I mean, anything you could put on a surface, I could do it, and so I said I was retired until this guy, 2 months ago, hired me to paint his $1 million garage. And so I was up on a 25-foot scissor lift for a week, and my kids were not happy. They're like, you said you're not going to do that anymore. I said I'm not going to climb scaffolding. This is a scissor lift. That's different.
Hey, listen,
but
money right.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm cured after that job.
There you go.
But then I'm a self-employed artist. I create my art. I've been doing those wine and sip parties for about 7 years, and now I've one of the producers of the Mads, to Frank and Trace from Mystery Science Theater. They're two of the hosts.
Yeah,
they do their own weekly show, and because of COVID, they do it online. And I was invited on for their December show because they decided to show Manos the Hands of Fate and riff it for their December, their Christmas show. Wow. And it was so popular. It was like 3,000 people came to this online show. And I asked their producer afterwards, he said, I've been thinking about doing some Mystery Science Theater painting classes online. And would you be interested in producing it? So next Saturday will be our third one. And anyway, here's an example. I'm doing not just monos, it's just Mystery Science Theater related. So here's my Godzilla painting.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm going to teach people how to paint this. And
I
let's see.
love the fire, how it's coming off his back like that. That looks incredible.
Oh, I know. You know what? And because I did faux finish, I know all these techniques, and that's super simple. People
That
are
is
gonna,
incredible.
yeah, and then you know, Mothra, Mystery Science Theater did Mothra. So there's my Mothra.
That is awesome. So you're gonna go in there and kind of
then,
show them all of your
Sure.
artwork.
There's one of the robots.
Oh yeah, that's the robot. Yeah, exactly. See, when people see that right there, I'm gonna have like different clips. So Beeline, when you see this, you're gonna see all the stuff I'm putting in the show to remind you and everything. But that is phenomenal, man. Yeah, it's so crazy. Like, it's crazy that, you know what else is crazy? It's crazy that I didn't know that this is what we're gonna talk about today. Because once again, like, see, talking with strangers, you just never really know what you're gonna be opened up to. But that is amazing. It's amazing how you kind of been able to establish yourself in, or at least in this direction, off of this one movie that's claimed the worst movie of all time. For you, this gotta be like the greatest movie of all time. Like, it's gotta be the best thing that ever happened.
I mean, it's given me so many opportunities for my own art. I mean, my art is different than this. In fact, I'm learning so much because I'm having to explore new styles of art to come up with things relatable to the fans that I can teach them in 2 hours, you know?
Definitely,
And so I'm finding my own art is getting better. I'm learning more as I push myself to expand outside of my comfort zones. And I'm having a great time.
I'm saying.
So, you know, the online classes, I get to work right here in my studio. I don't have to go anywhere. And we have it on a subscription basis, and it's growing. And I'm like, damn, this is good. I like this.
That's phenomenal. Yeah, man.
But
More
then,
power to you.
And then the web series, the Monos Chronicles, you can, if you look that up, the trailer is on YouTube.
Got it. Okay. That's right, Beeline. So guess what? We got a clip of it right here. Check it out.
Hecate, unlink these two spirits, one living and one dead. Sharon, take back your ward across the river Styx. Ma'at, use your...
Suggestion?
Debbie, it's been so long. I've been worried about you.
Let's get to work then. Oh, really? This staff and I have been together a long time. We're bonded. Long history.
It's gonna sound weird, but maybe like some red hands of fire?
Damn. That's the staff. The staff of Manos!
My own guardian angel, I guess.
Not the first time I've been called that. Yeah, it's not my first rodeo with this type of work.
Okay. Oh! You're a very interesting character. Are you helping or not?
There you go, right there. So, guys, as you can hear, as we're discussing with Miss Jackey here, like, you never know what's going to be what. Use what you got. Do what you can. Don't make excuses. I don't think I'm good enough. But you got to put your all into it. You never know what you're going to get. She's over here making stuff out of this movie deemed the worst of all time. I can't wait to watch it. I'm going to go watch it. I'm going to tell everybody about it, too. But yeah, we're gonna check out the web series. You just saw the trailer for it now. So Miss Jackey, so to touch bases on the, you said you wrote your book as well. So how is the book doing?
It's doing good, yeah. And now I'm on to other projects. So the book is called "Growing Up with Monos: The Hands of Fate: How I Was the Child Star of the Worst Movie Ever Made and Lived to Tell the Story."
Yeah,
and so awesome, you know, it's not a very long book, but it's got a lot of history. It takes you into what it was like in El Paso in the 60s, in West Texas, and and then introduces you to there's some tragedy in there. One of the actors committed suicide a month after filming.
Oh, damn.
One of the main actors, and there's just, and then when the restored version came out, the original director producer's son came out of the woodwork and threatened to sue everybody.
Oh,
I
really?
mean, the film was in public domain. And I tried telling him that's the only reason your father's film made it to Mystery Science Theater. It would have been gone forever if his father had put the proper copyright on it.
Got it. Yeah.
It
There's a
was
reason
a
for everything.
series of mistakes and such that got it where it is.
Hey, and I guarantee that's the best thing that ever happened to it. Like,
yeah, I know.
Probably not having that happen. Yeah.
And I always say, I go, if you can't be the best, make the most of being part of the worst.
Yeah, listen, that's like, this is like the biggest lesson. This whole story right here is that lesson for sure. Like I what I'm taking from it is literally, don't be scared to do something. If you don't think it's going to be this, even if it doesn't turn out the way you want to do it, don't be scared to put it out there, man. I think so many people now just, they have so much to kind of compare themselves to, whether it be looks, whether it be what they're doing, what their life is happening for them or whatever. And people are always trying to be like somebody else, whether it be, the Kardashians or, just all these images that people think they have to compare themselves to. So they don't take a lot of risks or a lot of chances. And I'm just speaking generally, don't come at me with all your bullshit. I mean, literally that's how people are. It seems like, at least. You have to just put yourself out there, man. That's one of the things I wanted to do with this show. Like, I don't care about, I speak about this all the time. I don't care about how many people watch my show. I'm not doing it for that. I'm doing it because I enjoy it. I'm doing it because I like it. If you like it, that's awesome. But I'm not doing it for that. I'm doing it because this is what I love. And your dad doing what he loved got a whole community. It's a community like that's been created.
And that suits who I am, because I'm all about bringing people together, and that's what I've always done. With right now I'm working on with some other really amazing women to create an artist co-op, but it'll have in a restaurant that needs a tenant. A good friend of mine owns this beautiful old brick building. And anyway, we've talked about not just an artist co-op, but it has this beautiful bar and kitchen, so we could have cooking classes or bartending school, or there's a yoga studio next door. I'm like, how about cocktails and yoga?
Listen, opportunity, it sounds like.
Art shows, but I'm ready. I've been so fiercely independent my whole life, and I just tend to jump into things and try everything, and I've failed plenty, but when I step back and look, I go, man, I've accomplished some pretty trippy stuff.
That's
and
awesome.
I've done things that nobody else is doing, and it's
part of history.
I don't stop to worry about what anyone else going to think about it.
That's awesome. Miss Jackey, it's been very, very, very great talking to you today. I mean, literally, like I said, I'm blown away because I really was not expecting to have this conversation. Hey, Beeline, I was about to change my shirt for a minute. I was like, wait a second, this is an entertainment show talking right here. But I'm actually very excited to get to know this. Actually, you know what? I would love to have you come back on my entertainment show, even if we were to do like kind of like a special. Because we do like movie reviews. We say like recommendations, different things. And it'll be awesome to do like an episode of just like the worst movies or what people consider the worst movies and just kind of talk about those. Yeah, I would love to have you come back.
Yeah, because I didn't even tell you. I was an extra in another movie in high school, and it's way worse than Monos.
Oh, really? You got another one over there?
And Mystery Collection. They did that one too. It's called The Curse of Bigfoot. Oh, it's horrible. Man.
That sounds like it comes with like a dum dum dum.
And here I am living in Bigfoot country, but I've been in some good films too. There's a film by Patrick McGee. It's his own film, but he's the guy that created the costumes for Alien and Alien versus Predator. And he also played the alien inside the costume. He's 6'8". He's a big dude. But he made his own film, and because of Manos, I knew his director of photography, and they were looking for a place to shoot some Bigfoot scenes, and I live in a perfect place in the forest, and I happen to have a 16-foot teepee, so he wrote in a whole scene for me and my family, and so my grandkids are in it, and I'm in it.
That's awesome.
You know, it's like,
Yeah.
you
That's
just
awesome.
you never ever know. You got to keep your mind open.
Yes,
And
yes.
I'll leave you with this. I love quotes, and my recent quote, the one I've been working on for months, and it's working like magic, is manifest one wish. Because I'm an artist, I tend to be doing like 6, 7 projects, and then I get down on myself because I feel like I'm not getting anywhere. But I'm now just allowing the way that I work, but I've changed it to just pick something and finish that task. I mean, little stuff. And it's amazing how much has actually gotten accomplished, that I'm not fighting against myself or putting myself down. Just shifting my perspective a little bit. It changed everything.
Yeah, definitely, man. Yeah, that's a really, really, really great quote to live on too, because I think that's a big thing that happens a lot too. People have so much to do. People have so little time to kind of like, we struggle with that, just being a family, like, just taking care of the kids, working. Then you take 5 seconds to try to sit down and you look at the time, you're like, damn, it's 9 o'clock already. And you don't really, what else am I going to do? Like, but like you said, like find at least one thing that you want to just do and try to get it done. Focus on it, on one wish. That's a really good quote. I think it could open up a lot of people's eyes to how to really get something done. It can be overwhelming, man. It can be overwhelming.
Don't overwhelm yourself. Just do one thing, just one thing. And then next you're doing another thing. And then all of a sudden at the end of the day, like now I'm not fighting against trying to pull myself back to something or another. I'm allowing that this is how I work, and I need to embrace that.
That's phenomenal. Miss Jackey, it's been amazing talking to you. Like I said, I definitely want to have you come back on and we do like a crazy, funny, like, talking about different old school movies. I mean, we'll definitely talk about it. It was very nice meeting you. Beeline. Yeah, once again, like, talking with strangers is a success. I haven't had a bad one on here yet. People are amazing, man. You never know who you're going to talk to. You never know who you're going to meet. These are people all over the place. They got stories. They got stories to tell. They got things that they're doing. You just put me in a whole thing. I got my next hour. I got to find this movie and watch it. But hey, this is Jackey Jones, and she's going to be on here. Check out the web series she got coming out. We're going to post some more. I was not expecting this. I'm kind of like lost for words. I'm like, oh, wow, this is awesome. Like, I didn't know you were like that much influential. Like, it was doing so amazing. That's one of the crazy things about the Comic-Con. That Comic-Con brought back so much because people love finding like unique styles and things from entertainment or from history or stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they bring back a lot of things that were lost in the past or whatever, just from like dressing up like, where is that from? And it's crazy. The communities that are created just to be different in a lot of ways is extraordinary. But you got anything to close up for us?
And I haven't traveled for a couple of years like a lot of people, but I'm ready now, especially with the Manos Chronicles coming out.
Yeah.
And I'm working on a documentary now as well.
Oh wow!
So I mean, I got
a lot. You're doing a lot.
But next year, I plan to travel and be part of a lot of Comic-Cons. I've been getting lists from people, suggestions of fans that want to meet me. I'm like, well, then where should I go?
Yeah, exactly.
Them? And I get to see a lot of really cool places around the country by doing that too.
Do you do like the whole panel setup where you got your booth and you like sign autographs and things like that?
Yes, and then I'm usually on panels, and also there's usually something that I'm part of in the film. So a lot of times things are in the the film festivals as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I would love to go to a film festival. I know they got stuff like that in Atlanta. I need to broaden my horizons a little bit because I say I want to do so much, and especially with doing this show, like. I would love to be more into like, I don't like planes, so I don't like traveling like that crazy. But I would love to go to like podcast conventions and different things like that, even just to experience more of the culture and be around it more. And
Yeah. Well, it's so inspiring when you talk.
Yeah, exactly.
You meet the most amazing people, and you never know what opportunity is going to open up from somebody you just met. Like I just met a woman another podcaster, and I thought she did one thing. It turns out she's a pretty big networker, and she wants me to be to come and be a speaker at her summit. She's doing a summit.
Oh, wow.
But then I told her that I said, I've been really thinking I want to do a TED Talks. I've been thinking this for a long time.
Yeah.
And she goes, oh, do you know? I think his name is Brian King. Anyway, this guy coaches people and guarantees if he coaches you, you'll get a TED Talk. And she knows him. It's like, I don't even know. It was so weird how it came out.
Hey, listen. Things
Everybody
happen, man.
knows somebody.
Yeah. Networking is extremely important. Like once again, like I said, this is the reason why I do this. Like, not just the network, but it's just because people are interesting, man. That was my whole thing. I started off not with 2 shows. I had 1 show, and I literally separated it because I wanted the web show that I'm doing, the Beeline web show. I wanted this to be the experience where I'm thinking different. I'm meeting new. I'm hearing new, experiencing new. And that's the whole point. The talking with strangers. I don't want to even if we don't know each other, you don't never know anybody until you know them. But I wanted people to come on and just talk about what they want. I didn't want to come up with topics to talk about. I don't want to talk about the news. I want to talk about whatever you guys are doing, what's been in your life. And you're meeting so many interesting people in different situations and perspective changes. And it's very influential. But yeah, it's incredible. I can't even close the show because I'm over here constantly going back in the conversation. Hey,
well, we'll talk again. And
definitely.
Then by the time we do the Models Chronicles, at least the pilot episode will be out, and I'll have a lot more information on that as well.
That'd be awesome. Yeah. Hey, Beeline, please check out Miss Jackey Jones. I'm going to have all the information in the description. You saw the trailer in the show. I'm going to go watch the movie. I know y'all going to watch the movie. So, Miss Jackey, thank you so much for coming on the Beeline web show today with us. And, spending time. We're going to definitely collab again and, talk about some bad movies. Maybe we'll make that a segment. Even I might even name it after the Mono segment or something. I don't know. I'm thinking hard. But Beeline, I love you guys so much. Follow Miss Jackey, watch everything she's doing. Amazing woman. You can see she's doing it. That's why we do this Talking with Strangers, because we want everybody to get to know people who are amazing out here. But until next time, y'all, stay true, stay positive, pay attention, watch the movies, whether they're good or bad. You don't know. Make a movie. Not creepy, but make a movie. Have fun. Hey, and I'll talk to y'all later. I love y'all.